that recording.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 25 to 3 rather. It is Saturday the 15th of March. Welcome to the first ever Yasir's Horizon Seekers. Now, this is a show, and I've told you last time, I have been pondering this for over a year, right? This is a show where we get insight from people who have entrepreneurial or creative aspirations in life. So, if people have desires to become more than what society has deemed them fit to be, we get to know who they are, what sort of things they do, and hopefully we can use those methods for ourselves. So hopefully the people that I have on board will inspire the viewers to chase their own dreams, their own goals, reach for those horizons that they were too afraid to or didn't know that they had. Sometimes it's about visualizing your dreams. Sometimes people, they don't even do that, do they? But this is the first ever show. Last week we had planned to launch it, but there was, let's call it a hiccup.
Complications.
It wasn't what we expected, but now that has happened, hopefully today will be firing, as you like to say, firing. Okay, so brilliant. So the format is basic. I have a guest on. The guest will talk about a topic that they have a keen interest in, and we talk about their lives, we talk about their experiences in an endeavour to hopefully give the viewer and myself ideas on how to propel ourselves forward. And we're just going to help each other get to where we need to be. I mean, back when I was trying to start my career, I just needed that one person to help me go to a next level, and it was hard to find. I mean, there were plenty of good-hearted people, but there wasn't that platform. So I'm hoping to make this the platform, and I want to help people get to. I want to give the people an opportunity that I never had. So hopefully, people watching this will support you, and then they will help you get to where you are. Yeah. And then, in the future, should the need arise, you could help other people once they get to this platform. And this is a platform, and this is not a platform where you can build on. This is a platform where you propel yourself forward into you seek your horizon. So this is what it's all about, seeking that obtainable goal. Well, horizons by definition can't be obtained, but that's the whole point. You're going to chase your dreams, and that's what the point of this show is.
Correct.
So the format will be basically, I have a guest on, and we're just going to get to know them, and we're going to get to know their ideas, their interests, and once we get to know them, you'll get to know them as well. So that's basically what we're going to do. Now, we have, for the launch, we have a fantastic topic, okay? But before we talk about the topic, we're going to talk about the person. Now, I've introduced you enough times now, so it's kind of become second nature. But the man to my left is basically a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for a few years, but it feels like ages.
Yeah.
He'll deny it, as always, but he helped me through university. At that point, I'd given up, and I didn't want to do it anymore, and he literally dragged me kicking and screaming. So, it just goes to show you, people with big hearts will actually carry other people if they need to. And he's got a very fantastic topic. But before we get into the topic, let's get to know him. So I'd like to welcome my good friend Haseeb Khokhar. How do I pronounce that? I always worry.
Yeah, it's Haseeb Khokhar.
Khokhar.
Yeah, different people pronounce it differently.
What's the correct pronunciation?
I think it's Khokhar.
Khokhar.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Well,
So
that's the Asian version, so Bob. We can just say it the normal way.
we can be westernized and we'll say Khokhar.
Yeah.
Khokhar. Okay. So.
Khokhar.
And if you want to get desi, you can call him Khokhar, right?
Yeah.
Which is cool. Either way, right? So Haseeb, right?
Yes.
Thank you for coming on the show.
No problem.
Again.
Anytime.
Anytime this man is there for you day and night. He's brilliant. And we're going to find out how he's brilliant today. Now, you got a very good topic, right?
I hope so.
Well, I know so. And I know so. So, we know so, don't we? But before we get onto the topic, why don't you just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
My name is Haseeb. I am from Austria. When I was born in Austria, I lived there for 15 years, and I came to UK in 2005 or 4, one of them, I can't remember. Obviously can't tell my accent anymore. Yasir's a very good friend of mine, known him since university. We've been through a lot, because uni is obviously the best time you have, and I'm glad that
it was the best time I had, man.
And all the people watching this show, they all know who they are. We had a very good time. So thanks for that. I'm here now with Yasir.
Okay, brilliant. So, in terms of your aspirations, I see. What do you hope to be one day?
I want to be a project manager. That's why I studied. I did undergraduate in business management, did a master's in project management. So obviously that's what I'm striving to be. As you know, nowadays it's very hard without experience to get anywhere. But there's stumbling blocks. There's nothing that you can't do.
Yeah,
stumbling block, you just gotta get over it. So that's
that's the whole part of the struggle, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's knowing the obstacle, finding out methods of crossing, and then implementing. And if you fail, you re-establish, you try again.
Exactly.
So,
that's right.
all right, brilliant. So yeah, wicked. That is the man. But what is the situation? What are we talking about today? What's the topic?
The topic is motivation in life. Obviously, it's a very broad topic, but there's a few things I'd like to pick out and really talk about, like a little bit in detail. So for all the viewers out there,
I mean, you're talking about motivation and life. So the motivation of life and motivation, whatever, whichever sort of pattern you want to use. But then themselves separately, they're very, very expansive topics. So are you talking about your life and the motivation in your life? Or are you talking about the motivation you found from life?
I will always relate it back to myself. And
Okay.
I'm sure all the viewers can relate back to themselves as well. But there's different aspects, and both of them really go together. Motivation and life could really, really work together.
And you're pulling from your own experience as well as things that you
Things that I've
experienced.
seen,
Right,
and
okay,
everything
brilliant.
else,
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we have got... Now, seriously, that is an amazing topic. This is going to be fun to do, so let's just get on with it.
Let's go.
So, I see, as I've just said, the theme of motivation in life is incredibly broad. And incredibly expansive, but in your terms, you tell me, what is motivation, and how would you go about motivating yourself and other people?
Okay. The way I see motivation is something that's inside you, something that's in here, that in your belly, that fire, that belief that you can go out there and you can do anything that you want. I also believe that motivation's got two aspects. There is the physical and there is also the psychological. So the psychological is all about feeling good attitude, positive attitude, always thinking positive all the time, them kind of things. And then it's physical, I want a nice car, I want a nice house, I want a nice job, them kind of things.
Isn't that more material as opposed to physical?
Yeah, that's obviously, but it's a physical thing, something that you can touch, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously the psychological stuff, that's all inside your brain, inside your head, how you feel, how you wake up in the morning, your routine, and day-to-day stuff, everything that you do. But motivation to me is something that's inside of you.
Okay.
Anyone can have it. Just some people, it's a lot harder to get out. From me that I'm very like, come on, let's go. We can do it all the time. Whereas with you, you'll be like, okay, we'll do it. And I'm probably, I'm telling the truth, right? I'm not like
to a degree. It depends on what the subject matter is. But so let's just expand on that.
Yeah.
How would you go about motivating other people then?
There's easy ways to motivate other people. I mean,
would you say it's dependent on the person, or is it dependent on you?
Of course, no, it depends on the person. Completely. There's different types of personalities. Some people respond really well to challenges. Some people don't. But the best way to motivate yourself is to challenge yourself. You have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to step outside, think outside of the box, and just go that extra mile.
Okay.
There's easy things that you can do, such as a daily task list. Do the shopping, go to the gym, go to work, have a good day at work, meet your targets, go home. That's your challenge complete.
That's a challenge.
That's a challenge.
That could be like a daily challenge.
That can be a daily challenge. Then you can do weekly ones, monthly ones.
And then obviously, the more you adapt to it, the more you become used to it, the more your body, acclimatizes itself towards things that you wouldn't necessarily have done. You will become a challenge, haven't you?
Exactly.
And there's those little things. It's like stacking the little, as opposed to doing one big thing in one go, which is not digestible.
Yeah.
You do those little things that will make the little amounts of effort.
Yeah.
And then eventually they'll stack up. Correct. And they will rival that big obstacle one day.
Correct. There's this thing such as the 30-day challenge, if you're out there and you are watching this, try like a 30-day challenge, try no soft drinks for a month, 30 days. It's really hard. Exactly, it's really hard, but it definitely make a difference.
Do you have chocolate for, ladies out there, do you have Oh, that was sexist. My apologies. Give up chocolate for about 30 days. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, for all you gamers, just stop gaming for a month.
Give up computer games. That will hurt.
Yeah.
That will hurt.
The hardest one of all is stop watching TV for a month.
That's actually easy for me.
That's easy for you, but for some people it's really hard.
So, some people's lives are
Yeah,
revolve
like they
around.
come home, they relax, they sit
They
down,
need, they need their
put
soaps,
TV
don't
on.
they?
Exactly.
They need their soaps because if they don't get that fixed, then it's like a detachment from reality. They don't feel normal, do they?
But I see them kind of things as distractions because they're not letting you do the things that you really should be doing. Just imagine not watching TV. That time you could be done for something useful. Going to the gym.
Yeah.
You know, I want to put on 5 pounds of muscle in a month.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily do it. If you start watching TV.
If you plan,
Yeah, if
if
you
you
plan,
dedicate,
if you prepare. Is that motivation? You have a goal inside of your head. I want to look like this. I want to have a 6-pack by the summer. So I can go to the beach and just like show off my 6-pack basically. You know, or just have a nice 6-pack. Just be in good shape. But you need to have that vision inside of your head to go out there and get it. That fire, that belief, and the right attitude. Never give up mentality. That's what you need. That's what motivation is. And that's how people should be motivated. By not giving up and going out there and just doing it.
Yeah.
You know, because how many times did Thomas Edison have to invent the light bulb?
Would you do like 1,000 times? Or
Yeah,
something like that?
and
He
you know,
goes,
people always said to him, like, what are you doing, you know?
yeah, give up.
Give up, and he was like, you know, I found 990,000 ways of how it doesn't work. I need one way which it does work.
Yeah.
So we have the completely different attitude to everyone else.
I mean, back
That's
in the day, there were haters, you know.
Yeah.
There always will be those doubters. Back in those days, they were called doubters, and these days they're called haters.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they'll be called, you know, in the future, but there's always that rabble rouser, those idiots, those people who just don't want change, don't want improvement.
There's always them kind
because of fear or whatever, you know.
Exactly. But the only thing you can do to them kind of people is just be nice to them, say, you know, thanks for advice.
Yeah,
But,
that's all you can do.
That's the only thing you can
That's
do.
all that's all you can do, but that's all they're good for, you know.
Exactly.
They're not gonna help you.
The people who drag you down, you shouldn't be let them drag you down. You should try to drag them up. That's the way I see it.
That's a good one.
So that's thinking outside of the box. You know, if
That's
someone
definitely
comes up with a
thinking outside the
negative
box.
thing, say, oh man, how you doing today? You know, you're right. Okay, well, have a nice day, and I'll see you later. Or maybe you can come to
Yeah,
work or
so
something.
don't let them get inside that bubble.
Don't.
Because that will mess with your focus.
Exactly.
All
I've
right.
seen it many times with people.
I remember you telling me that. Alright, so when children are growing up and they're learning new things, the very first teachers that they have are their parents. Okay, now how influential do you think parents are in terms of the growth of their children, and also in terms of support? What do you think parents can do to sort of motivate their children?
I think the parents are very important when a child is growing up. Very important because they're there as a figure, obviously, someone they can look up to, and obviously everything that the parents teaches them, they're gonna pick that up.
But they're gonna do the next step, aren't they? Because children are like sponges.
Exactly.
They will pick up. I mean, if a parent is a wrestler, the kid will be a champion wrestler. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean,
probably.
he would, because monkey see, monkey do.
Exactly.
Right? They will
Correct.
do what their parents do.
Correct.
So, in terms of like motivation and support, what is the parents' role?
I think the parents' role nowadays it's really hard to like pinpoint. But one thing that I can.
Why is it hard? What do you mean?
I mean, it's very hard to pinpoint the parents because if you compare our generation and the generation that's come now, that is completely different. There's no respect these days. And I think one of the really important values that parents should teach to a child is respect. You know, respect the elders and just be respectful. There isn't enough respect these days. Like, if you look on the streets outside now, there's kids out there, and if you just walk past them and you look at them, they'll be like, well, what were you looking at?
Yeah.
And they're like 12 or 13.
But
You think,
to be fair,
what's going on?
they existed when I was that age. Well,
Well,
to be fair,
I wasn't like that. Let's just say I wasn't like that.
and it is no bearing on my parents. So I don't. Let's say it this way, yeah. It's not necessarily the parents' fault.
Yeah,
I mean, the
it's
parent,
not the parents'
the parent can do everything under the sun, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the environment that we are.
Growing up in.
I mean, you've seen it before, yeah. The parent is well respected among society. He carries himself with dignity. She's always, taking care of the children, making sure they're okay.
Yeah.
And then once they get to that teenage age, they're smoking,
Yeah.
they're doing drugs, they're doing all kinds of other,
Yeah.
let's say, unsavory things. I'm not going to say on camera. But they're doing those. And did the parents do that? No, they
They
didn't.
just fall into bad society, bad people. That's what happens. you know.
That's
but
it. It's the environment, is what we are exposed to,
it is.
and how we react to it. Do we accept it, or do we reject it, and do we learn from it?
Yeah.
So the parent, yeah, I agree with you that they
well,
are.
The parent has got a critical role, you know. It's like when you're growing up and you're in the store and you're like 4 or 5 years old and you say to your mom, oh, I want those sweets, and your mom goes, no, you can't have them. You know, that no stays with you for the rest of your life. You know, there's people who
like a psychological.
It's a psychological thing. So when someone says no, you immediately program to think, oh no, that's not good.
Yeah.
You know, that's immediately in your head. It's already programmed because you've been hearing it so much when you were a child that it's programmed in your mind.
It's imprinted in your understanding.
Exactly. It's in your head all the time whenever you hear no. So parents should be a lot more supportive, you know, do the right thing, go to school, get educated, you know, or if you're educated enough, you go outside and work. But the parents should always be there to support, you know, the child. Say, you know, you're doing really well, I really like what you're doing. You can do your homework, you know, you can go outside and play. You know, not
incentives and things.
Exactly, not like, oh, if you do your homework, I'll let you go on the PlayStation.
You don't agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that.
Do you not? I mean, like, let's just say...
It takes away a child's imagination. You know, it's better to go outside, be healthy, and do something active rather than staying inside and playing PlayStation.
But can I give you a dissenting opinion?
Yes.
Because I got most of my inspiration from computer games.
Okay, well, there's people like obviously there's creative people, but I'm saying there's people who need to be active.
Okay.
You know, people who are hyperactive kids.
It's dependent.
Hyperactive, they're not going to be any good in front of a computer game. They need to go outside, go boxing, go running, go.
They need to get that energy. There needs to be an outlet for that.
They need to just let it all out. Exactly.
Right. Now, I know you've been reading some very powerful articles.
Yeah.
Now, you've not just been reading anything. You've been reading books and things like that. Not as much as we used to do in uni.
No. I wish it would have been like that.
You know, it would have held that kind of energy. But that's irrelevant now because you've been reading some very powerful articles and books from not just anyone, but from very influential people throughout history. So you know who I'm about to chat about now, don't you?
Yeah.
We're about to talk about Jordan Belfort.
Yep.
Now, for people who don't necessarily know who Jordan Belfort is, you've obviously seen the film that come out, The Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio played the character of Jordan Belfort. Now, he is a real life Wolf of Wall Street, isn't he? You know, you can consider him a very highly controversial character. But the thing is, he found a way to make money very fast. And it was through the sort of motivation, let's say. So what I want to ask you is, what lessons have you learned from not just Jordan Belfort, people like Jordan Belfort, and how will you or are you able to apply those methods and technology, those methods and understandings and philosophies to attain your own endeavours?
Well, I think anyone can do it. He's got this thing called the straight line system. That's what he used when he first started out, because he was just a stockbroker, but he wasn't any stockbroker. He would just pick up the phone and ring, and then when he connects, he would pass it over to the actual stockbroker, but he had to get a qualification. When he got his qualification, then he started, he started going, then the company went bust that he was working for, and he had to start from small shop or something it was, and they were just selling pink sheets, which is just like penny stocks. That's what they were selling, but he used to get 50% commission. And for him it was so easy to do a sale because he had everything in his head. The straight line system, which was how to do, like there's 5 steps to a sale. There's like presentation, there's short story, there's relate, and I think there's a close. You know? And
well, I was taught in the call centre, and it wasn't the best of experiences for me.
But then for every negative, he's got a positive way to turn everything around. So that's his system. So if he can do it, then anybody.
I mean, people are who are working in call centres, who are watching this now, would you recommend Jordan Belfort's philosophy for them?
Of course.
I mean, obviously, I would say move on, right? But you know, if circumstances don't allow you to, then you just want that upper hand, that fire.
Yeah. It's all about that. It's all about your attitude. And if you have a positive attitude, you can go in there and you can say, you know what, today I'm gonna get 5 sales, because if you got that kind of attitude, you'll come back at least 3. If you go in there and work, you say, you know what, I'm just gonna go for 1 today. You come back with 0 because with that kind of attitude, you won't get it. You know,
I mean, it's like saying I'm gonna aim for the ceiling,
Yeah.
but people don't even reach the top of the stairs.
Exactly.
Yeah. If they put footprints on the moon, you can at least aim for the moon, and you might get the sky.
Exactly.
You know, it's that kind of mentality.
Yeah.
When I was in school, you know what they used to do? They used to put the dumb kids with the dumb kids and the clever kids with the clever kids.
Yeah.
And the highest the dumb kids. Sorry, I don't mean to be offensive, but let's just say the people who are lesser understanding. Those children, they could only the highest they could get.
Yeah.
The highest they could get was the lowest for us bright people. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of a kick in the face.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. You know.
And we talked about education before, weren't we?
Yeah.
And if that's our system,
Yeah.
what hope is the future?
It's still very old school based. You know, it's very very old school because any child can just go through here 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11, and then fail the GCSEs. You know, just fail them. What's the point in that?
Jordan Belfort's philosophy was that streamlined. What did you call it?
Straight line system.
Straight line system.
Yeah.
What would you recommend? I mean, would you say read his books or would you say watch the film?
I mean, I seen the film, and I wasn't a big fan of the film because apparently it was supposed to be 5 hours long, but they cut 2 hours out.
Right.
It was 3 hours long. The book is so much more interesting because he talks about stuff that he didn't even realize that he was doing.
Okay.
You know, he's like, I was already influencing people without even knowing that I'm influencing them. You're saying the correct things. You know, all you guys do NLP out there or look at
it's
NLP.
triggers and anchors, isn't
Exactly,
it?
it's
Like
triggers,
psychology.
it's key words. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, I really like your suit, but. And that
So you put
but,
a negative in the book.
yeah, and the way you say it, the way you slow it down, it's all some psychological stuff that goes inside the head. It's technology of language. That's what it's called.
Right.
So he was doing all that kind of stuff before he didn't even know about it. He didn't even know that he was doing it.
Yeah.
And then once he found out about it, read on about it, he was a success. I mean, people say that he was a fraud, but I mean, to do what he did in the time, that's really, really hard. That's really hard to do. But he had the motivation, he had the attitude, and he had that desire to be the most successful man in New York.
He didn't want to be the second to the third to the fourth. He wanted to be the man. He wanted to be the wolf.
Yeah.
Right? He wanted the big prize.
Yeah.
And that's it's got nothing to do with getting the big prize. It's just about aiming for the big prize.
Exactly.
Because at least you won't get, if you aim for the highest you could possibly aim for,
Yeah.
you will still get more than what you would have done.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that.
exactly.
Right? But let's just do a sidetrack to education one more time.
Yeah.
You said you weren't impressed with the education system,
No,
were you?
no.
So I just want to know what your thoughts are about children these days. With their GCSEs.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think of how their mentality has been affected. I was talking about those people of less understanding,
Yeah.
and there were us a lot. And you know what I find? Those people that were in those lesser classes, they've become successful businessmen and have good jobs.
Yep.
And there's me, right, who's a graduate, who was always in the top class wherever he was, not bragging. I'm not, but I was, right?
Yeah.
Look at me, I've barely got a job,
Well,
right?
it's not your time yet.
Do you know what I mean? But do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the arrogance. You give a child too much, saying you're the brightest.
Yeah,
He won't
of course,
try.
of
You
course.
tell a kid you're thick and you'll never make anything. Kid will be like, I'll show you.
That's exactly. Well, there's like I said, there's different personalities who just respond differently. There's people who want to be, you know what? I'll show you, and I was one of them. And I'll show you.
What happened to you?
why-
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tell them what happened to you.
Well, basically, when I came to this country, I was not allowed to go to high school because I was too old for year 10, and here I couldn't go into year 11 because I didn't have year 10 coursework. So my school had it, sports college.
You had to get that in.
I had to get that in. They sent me to like Tameside College. They said, no, sorry, you can't get in, you haven't got any GCSEs. They sent me to Hyde College, and they were like, sorry, you haven't got any GCSEs. And I was just sat at home, not doing anything. And then my parents just got basically a bit angry, so went to the council, and the council said, they have to let you into year 11. And so by the time I started, everyone was already back from work experience. It was like January time or something. And a couple of months
Half of
left,
the year gone.
half of the year gone. I'm
Alright.
sure I came back after the Christmas period when everyone. This Christmas when you work experience.
Yeah. Well, no. Like
December, whatever.
in year 10, midway you'll do your work experience.
When you do in year 11 as well.
You don't do work experience in year 11.
But they did it in year 11.
So they must have changed it for you.
They must have changed. So anyway, I came back after the work experience, and I wasn't allowed to do. I was allowed to take classes whichever one I wanted, but I couldn't do the exams like the GCSEs. So only GCSEs I took was English, Maths, and German. Obviously German, got
This is what you
star.
speak, yeah.
So that was pretty easy. Maths I passed, and English I failed, but I did it in college again, got a C. But from there on, it was always going to be a struggle just with 3 GCSEs to do anything, But now, I mean, I was blessed because now I've got an undergraduate and I got a master's.
Yeah.
And that's someone who's only got 3 GCSEs.
I mean, think about it. The education system says no to you, and then you say watch.
Yeah.
I'll
That's
show
what it was,
you.
yeah.
That's
I
what
mean,
it is.
Children's attitudes as well, like, I can't be asked. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Can't be asked. I can't be asked? That's not a good word. It's people just not motivated.
We all have our bad days, yeah?
Of course.
But it's about knowing that I can change my circumstance with little effort of will. And for a guy as young as you, at that age, to have that mentality, I mean, not many people would. Not many people would just say, yeah, you know what, forget it, I'll just become a takeaway.
Exactly. I'll probably work at KFC or
that's it, you know what I mean? So it's good that you were able to overcome adversity, considering it's supposed to be from the education system, people of knowledge, and they just didn't want you to learn. It's shocking, it is shocking.
It is, it's very
And then you've got the uni fees as well, which people, I mean, why go uni anymore if you have to pay these ridiculous fees? And then you pay off of the, people struggle to pay their mortgages, yeah? But nowadays people struggle to pay their loans.
Exactly, you pay it to the rest of your life.
So this is the education system that we're in at the moment. It is shocking.
It is very shocking. I mean, one way I think to improve it is in Austria when you fail one subject, you have to resit the whole year. You get a clause which is like you're allowed to fail one. If you fail more than 2 or something, you have to resit the whole year. And I think that puts fear into children. Not fear in a bad way, but in a positive way, like because they don't want to be left behind. There's always going to be some kids who are going to be like less understanding, like Yasir said, and just be left behind. But I think it'll improve the grades. How many years have you heard now? GCSE results are low, A-level results low, no one's getting A's anymore. Like hardly, there's less and less every year.
What gets me is, like when they do get the A stars, and it's not just A stars, it's A star, A star, A star, A star, A star. It's the highest degrees all the time, it's the highest levels, and people still say, yeah, well, your GCSEs are easier than they were back in my day. My GCSEs were harder than yours. My O levels were better than yours. And it's like that, kids lose the conviction in life after that. And then they're like, you know what, if granddaddy here, who's got nothing to his name, why should I bother?
Yeah. I mean, grades is a way to separate people. You just segregate. Yeah, he is the clever ones. He is the less understanding people.
Yeah. You keep using that.
Yeah, I keep using that. It shouldn't be like that,
It shouldn't be.
In a school, for example, rather than saying like he's the clever ones, they're the less understanding ones, it should be all of you mixed together, because some of the less understanding kids, they got really, really good ideas, which are really clever than the cleverer ones.
I can't see the point of view what teachers are using, because the people that were in the lower classes, they were troublemakers.
Yeah,
they weren't there to study, because they came from families who were broken or less understanding.
There's always going to be
those kids, but it's for the teacher to identify that.
Yeah,
and on their salaries, I don't think so.
Yeah.
They'll be like, you know what, I'm not here for. This sounds condescending, but there are very good teachers out there. There are fantastic teachers out there.
Every teacher is good.
Right?
Every teacher.
But there are those other ones, isn't there? So like, it's like you putting children in the lower classes. Your teachers should be put in the lower grades too. Yeah. If we want to get fair on this, let's treat everybody equal.
Yeah.
It
should be like that,
Now, we've talked about ups and downs, we're talking about the confusion of life, and how hard it can be. In that ruckus, in that hubbub, right? We lose motivation, we lose that fire, in our bellies. What can we do to get motivated for someone who doesn't know what motivation is, or someone who finds it hard to become motivated? What would you suggest?
The thing I'd say is you have to hang around with positive people. Other people who are more energetic than you are, because their energy is going to rub off onto you.
They can't keep it.
They can't keep it because they're just so, like you said, loving and giving everything out.
Yeah.
They'll just pass it on to you without you even knowing it. You'll be doing it.
And you will accept it because it's not something that you've had before.
Exactly. It's like for example, I was just looking at this guy and he's on YouTube and he's like, he used to go to the gym, but all of his friends, they were like a bit chubby and they weren't really into it. So he's like, and then he got chubby. But then he started hanging out with friends who were really fit and had the proper diet and proper really everything healthy. He started being like that, healthy.
You pass it on.
You pass it on, exactly. It's the lifestyle that you pass on, the energy, and everything else gets passed on. So the only thing I can say is for people to get motivated is, like I said, hang around with other people, positive people, and always
have mentors or something. Right?
Yeah, have
like
mentors.
if you want to get into project management, like which is what you do, then I presume you're going to get into a circle of project managers, or at least try, or read journals, or about project management.
Go to those parties.
Like I'm a writer. I go to reading events. I go to watch book signings. I go to festivals. I go to poetry festivals. And that. I know you're probably thinking pansy, right? But it's true. The community that you want to get into, you become the community, don't you?
Exactly.
So it's about being, and hopefully, when they put conviction into you, you will reinforce theirs.
You'll believe it. You'll believe in you. You believe in yourself that if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And it's just that belief that you need to have and never give up. It's just something that you should never do is never give up. Something comes your way and it's really hard. You don't just find a way to turn your back and just walk away. You've tried to find a way around it, through it, or over it. Just over it? Yeah.
You said over it, yeah.
Over it, through it, or around it. There you go.
Okay. So, what we did was we touched on a point just a moment ago.
Yeah.
Now I've read some self-development books. I've listened to some audio books, from Tony Robbins. And what I tend to find with these books, with these theories, with these people, is that there's a common pattern. There's a common sort of element. I mean, there's loads of common elements, but the one that I want to sort of talk about is the necessity of a mentor. So tell me, what do you think about mentoring? Is it good to have, one, or should there be many?
I think there should only be one. But at a certain time there should always be one. But it's really important to people get a mentor. I mean, people think, mentor, it's so hard to get.
It is hard to get.
Where do we go?
I mean, just from my own experiences.
Of course, but you can just type in mentor or whatever in Google, and I'm sure you find some. But like the way I found mine was through MMU. They've got a mentoring service.
Well, that's standard for any sort of university.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing from like young kids stopping, going and asking like the parents at work if there's someone there who's higher than them, like the mentor manager or whatever, if they can be the mentor.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about parents before.
Yeah.
What parents some sort of mentor?
Of course they are. They're the mentor from a very young age until probably all the way when you get older, because they'll always be that person who you look up to. They'll always be that person who you look up to.
Yeah.
But to get that's only for life. You need someone who's like in a profession as a professional mentor. Someone who knows the ins and outs of how to get into a career, how to manage certain things. It's really important to get a mentor, and obviously it's not very hard, because all you gotta do is just ask. That's the only important thing.
Now, I've just asked you, do you think you should have one?
Yeah.
Or many? And you just said it's better to have one. But here's the thing. I watch a lot of cage fighting.
Yeah.
Now, it's got, you can call it controversial or whatever, it doesn't really bother me. But in terms of a fighter's development, okay, they have many trainers, and that trainer is their mentor for that particular discipline. So it's called MMA, it's mixed martial arts, right? So you got your kickboxing, you got your jiu-jitsu, I know you like jiu-jitsu, you got your wrestling, and you got your straight up boxing, haven't you?
Yeah.
But each and every single one of those has it's a different discipline.
Yeah.
For each discipline, you've got a different head coach.
Yeah.
A head coach is just a mentor. So is it necessarily the case that, do you just want one MMA coach, or would you rather have a hardcore boxer coach who will teach you, sharpen your boxing, your kickboxing coach will do everything else, who will do your jiu-jitsu, who will do your wrestling?
Yeah.
In that terms, would you necessarily disagree with the fact that you should have more than one mentor?
No, I stick by the one which I say is one coach or one mentor, because them things you just said are coaches. If you ask the fighter who's your mentor, he would say someone from a couple of years down the line or a couple of years ago who was like right up there. Or they would say, oh, my idol is this guy because I love everything about him.
Idol is different from mentor, though.
But if he would have the chance to pick a mentor,
Right.
he would pick that idol, wouldn't he?
Would he really though? I mean, like,
I think he would.
I mean, like, when I've seen fighters interview, they are like, thanks to this coach, he helped me with this much. Thanks to this coach, and you know, a coach is just another way of saying mentor.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't want to say mentor, you can call it a life coach, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you've got a project manager coach, right? He won't cover everything,
Yeah.
but if instead you've got a planning coach,
Yeah.
and then you've got a demand chain coach,
Yeah.
and then you've got a resources coach.
Mm-hmm.
You're telling me that one coach is better than these three?
Well, you know how they say everything in life. Everything should be done by one step at a time.
Okay.
You know, you can't climb Mount Everest in one step.
Definitely.
Even with all your coaches, you can't still. You still have to go there step by step.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think there's a time for everything.
Okay.
You know, there's time for your, like I said, project management. There's time for your demand chain. There's time for your planning.
Okay.
You know, I reckon if you've got 3 or 4 mentors, it'd be too much for someone to deal with because you'd be responding email there, having a phone call here, having a meeting over there. You'd be confused who your actual mentor is.
Okay.
You know, there should be one person who you can go to,
Yeah.
speak to them,
Yeah.
and I think that's the best way.
Okay.
But if you are the person who wants multiple mentors, by all means go ahead. But it's
How? Yeah, that's fine. But how important is a mentor? I mean, would you recommend it, or would you say you need it?
Of course, I would definitely recommend him. I mean, if I go down the line now a couple of years, then I'd love to be a mentor. So anyone who would like advice from me, I would give back to them because you can tell them the ways to avoid mistakes that you did. You know?
Yeah, sort of sway them away from the
Exactly.
pitfalls and say, don't go there, do this.
Correct, yeah. Like, I'd love to give something back. I always love to give something back. And I think then people should just ask for a mentor these days because it's not very hard. I mean, if you ask a successful person, how did you get successful, they will always tell you.
Not always.
Well,
From my experience,
from your-
I've spoken to a lot of writers,
Yeah.
and I'll be like, tell me what the thing is, and they're like, well, tell me what do you want from it.
yeah, I know,
And
but
some
if you
people,
ask them
they don't-
how did you get successful, most people always love to tell how they did it. Because
Yeah.
everybody has a story they love to tell.
They do. I mean,
That's the
I've got a
story.
story that I want to tell, but it depends on people will read it or not. I'm just going to put the questions to just one side for just 1 minute, because we're going to try something, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to do something.
A game.
Was it an exercise or was it a game?
Well, it's a game, an exercise.
A game or an exercise?
Whatever you like to call it.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say what happened last week, but Haseeb has got an exercise, a game for us to play.
Yeah.
Now obviously he's going to do it with, I'm going to be the subject, but that doesn't mean that you can't do it at home.
Yeah.
So join in. What's it called?
The cube.
It's called The Cube.
Yes.
So like that TV show.
Yeah.
Right, but it's different.
It's a
different.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to play The Cube now, and hopefully you will too. So, begin.
Okay.
Let's go.
So Yasir, I want you to imagine that you are in a room, as in you can see a room. Okay? Right?
So room.
A room, yeah. It's empty right now.
Just empty.
It's empty.
Okay.
I want you to put a cube in the room. Right?
Okay.
Can you see the cube?
Yeah, I can.
Where is the cube?
It's on the floor.
It's on the floor. Is it in the middle of the room or whereabouts?
Yeah, like directly in the middle.
Directly in the middle, okay. And you said it's on the floor, like grounded.
Yeah, so literally it's touching the floor.
Yeah.
And if this was like a perfect square room,
Yeah.
it's in the center of the square room.
Okay. What color is the cube?
It's multicolored. Just different colors.
Like one of those Rubik's cube.
It is a Rubik's Cube.
Oh, it's a Rubik's cube.
It is a Rubik's
Okay.
Cube. But the thing is, it's changing, so it's not just one color by itself.
Okay, so it's basically multicolored, changing all the time.
It's always changing.
Always changing. Okay. How big is the cube?
The size of the normal Rubik's Cube is
So fairly small.
not that big.
Okay. Fair enough. Now I want you to put a ladder somewhere.
What kind of ladder?
Any ladder.
A ladder.
A ladder, yeah.
Right.
Where do you put the ladder in the room?
I put it on top of the cube.
On top of the cube.
So it's not touching the cube.
Yeah.
So like the cube will be underneath it,
Right.
so to speak.
Right.
But the ladder's sort of over it.
Okay.
And the ladder's on the touching the ground as well.
Okay, that's
So it's
fine.
not hovering or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically the cube is here and the ladder is going on this.
Yeah, sort of
Yeah.
hanging over the
Okay.
cube.
Okay. And where do you see yourself on the ladder?
I don't. I'm not on the ladder.
So where do you see yourself?
Like in the room, I'm stood against the wall,
Okay.
and I'm directly in front of me the ladder,
Yeah.
which is hanging over the cube, which
Right.
is directly in the center of the room.
Okay. I want you to put some flowers somewhere now.
Flowers.
Flowers. Where would you put flowers?
What do you mean flowers? Just like flowers.
Like, if you can imagine some flowers, where would you put the flowers?
Can I put it in one place or can I put it
you can put
anywhere?
it anywhere you like.
So more than one flower.
Yeah,
So I can put it anywhere I want.
anywhere you like.
Right, I'd put one next to the ladder.
Yeah,
So like on the left strut
yeah,
of the ladder.
yeah.
I'd put one in the bottom right corner of the room.
Mm-hmm.
And you know where I'm standing? I'm against the wall, aren't I?
Yeah,
On the right side of me is another corner, isn't it?
yeah,
I'd put a bunch of flowers
yeah.
in the bottom corner of that room, of this room.
Okay, so there's one flower next to the
Ladder.
ladder, one flower in that corner.
One flower in the corner to my right,
Yeah,
in the bottom corner,
Yeah.
and another, the other corner to my right,
yeah.
and next to
The
me.
closed corner.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I want you to imagine a horse now. Okay? I want you to put a horse into that room.
A horse.
A horse. Where would you put
This
that
sounds
horse?
like a nightmare. Alright, I'd put, do you know where, ignore the flower that's next to the ladder.
Yeah.
You know the one that's in the top right corner and the bottom right
In the
corner?
far corner, yeah.
Directly in the middle
Yeah.
is where the horse is standing.
Okay. And what's the horse doing?
Just standing there. He's looking in the same direction I'm looking, but he's facing away from me. So he's kind of looking at the flowers.
Oh yeah, so give me three qualities or three things that you know about this horse, you see about this horse.
So just describe it.
Yeah.
Huge, like built, muscly,
Right.
brown. I'd say he's quite tall.
Top. Okay, fine. I want to imagine a storm now.
Okay.
Right? Is this storm inside the room or outside the room?
Outside.
Outside. Can you feel or hear the storm?
I can only hear it.
But you can't feel
I
it.
can't. This room has no windows. It has no door.
Right.
It has a roof and it has a floor.
Yeah.
I can hear it, but just barely. There is a storm.
Right.
But I can hear like wind and
But you
things.
can just hear it.
I can just hear it.
Okay, that's fine. Alright, I'm going to do your analysis now, Yasir.
Okay, people, here comes the analysis.
Here comes the analysis. So, the cube is quite small, but it's grounded. So you're a very grounded person, with not a huge ego, not huge or look at me. You know, it's good, nice, small personality.
I've got a small personality.
Small personality. Yeah. But that's better than saying, oh, you know, you're arrogant or you don't care. You know.
I have been accused of such things.
Okay, but you're a very grounded person.
Okay.
Okay, your Rubik's Cube is very interesting because that means that you are a person with different personalities. So you can adapt.
He doesn't mean schizophrenic.
Yeah, not only that. You can adapt to anyone.
Okay.
You know, because your cube can change into that color. So if someone is like very bright and hoo-ha,
Yeah.
you can change your color straight away
Okay.
to yellow or something and mirror that person.
Okay.
And also the Rubik's Cube means that you got different aspects. You know, you can be calm, you can be loud, you can be quiet, you can be energetic, you can be intelligent. There's loads of different personalities Yasir got. Is that kind of
I can agree with that.
Yeah?
I can agree with that.
Okay. The next thing was the ladder. Now the ladder represents your goals and your aspirations.
Okay.
And your goals and aspirations are bigger than your cube. Okay? Now I asked you where you were standing, where do you see yourself on the
I
ladder?
wasn't.
You said you weren't. You are against the wall, just looking at the ladder.
Just
So
looking
you are not far away from your goals, but you are not aligned with your goals at
Okay.
this moment.
Okay.
You know? Is that something you
I
agree
can
with?
definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and I can agree as well because I know. But this guy obviously he's got a very high ladder, so once he be on the ladder, he's going to be on his way up there to the ladder. You know, looking at a small cube. That's what he's going to do.
So is my goals and aspirations bigger than my personality?
Yes,
Okay.
bigger, a lot bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next thing was the flowers. So you got, this is about 3 bunches of flowers or one flower.
A bunch A bunch of flowers with the ladder, a bunch of flowers in the corner, a bunch of flowers in the
Okay, I forgot to ask you, what types of flowers are there?
Same, I mean, they're like kind of... I don't know what kind of make flower it is. I don't know what sort of genetic makeup it
Are
is.
they all different from each other?
No, they're all like
They're
sort
all
of
the
white
same.
flowers.
Okay, cool, that's fine. So you said there's one flower who's next to your ladder,
A bunch of flowers next to the ladder.
a bunch of flowers next to the ladder. So them flowers represent people who are close to your goals. It's people who motivate you, people who say, come on Yasir, you know you can do it. Come on. Okay, that's one bunch.
Okay.
There's another bunch which is in the far left corner, which means
Yeah.
they're just people who are just there whenever you need them.
Okay.
Okay, and then you said there's people in the right corner, which I think are your other friends. So I think you are like three types of friends. You've got your people who are close to you, very close to you, like next to your human, next to your personality,
Alright.
to your goals, who are always there supporting you. There's people who you just know, and
Yeah,
whenever you need them, you're there. And there's other people who, like, I think you're probably your best friend, childhood friends, who are in another corner. So whenever you need someone, they're always very close by.
Okay.
Would you agree with that?
I do have sets of friends.
Yeah.
Different. They have different. Like you belong to one set.
Yeah.
Another one belongs to another set.
Yeah.
So yeah. I can agree with that one as well.
That's good. Now,
It's, wait a minute, just before you carry on. It's kind of scary
yeah,
because it shouldn't be this easy. You know what I mean?
but it is.
I mean, like, obviously he's not here to analyze yours,
Yeah.
but he's just giving you the idea. So he's giving you the legend key
Yeah.
for what those things are, so you can make up your own mind basically.
Yeah.
And he's telling you from so if you want to compare and contrast yours with mine,
Yeah.
it'll be easy for them
It's
to.
like the people who've got their flowers around them, you've got a circle of really good friends.
Right.
Or people who've got like the in a vase of flowers, they're just there in the window. So whenever you
What about if their cube was sort of hovering in the air?
Oh, that means that you're a very artistic person.
Okay.
You know, and if it's like slanted in on a corner, that means you are a creative person and you think about a lot of other things. You think outside of the box. You know, that's for people who are hovering.
So if that's what you were, then that's what you are.
That's what you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, forget all that. Let's carry on with
Carry
my.
on. So the horse, quite funny actually, represents your perfect partner.
Can I? Right. Wait. My perfect partner would never be a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said he. That's why he's saying.
I'm just saying it would never ever
But
ever
it would be someone who's big,
strong,
muscly, and
brown.
brown. So if you're out there watching this, you know who you are.
Oh dear God.
Just click on the link below. Leave a comment. Or leave your phone number or something. Okay?
Okay, so
So that's your perfect partner.
that's alright.
So
Oh yeah, there's one more element.
There's one more. There is the storm. Now the storm represents problems in your life.
Okay.
Okay, you said that you can't see anything.
This is a blocked out room.
Yeah? But you can hear the storm. So that means that whenever there's a problem, you are a little bit irritated by it. You can feel it just a little bit, and it just itches you inside, like it scratches you. There's just annoys you a little bit.
Okay.
You know, you don't see the problem because the problem just comes out of nowhere like that.
Okay.
But you can hear it.
What would you say if let's say a storm or a hurricane, when you added that element and
Yeah.
people were playing along with this game,
Yeah.
what if that storm came and ripped off half of the room? What would that
That would mean that the storm affects your life badly. Like problems come in and you won't eat for days, or you can't sleep properly. You know, it disrupts your whole pattern of life.
Okay.
So whenever there's a problem,
And
it
what
just
what
disrupts
if
everything.
what if it's a hurricane but it's about that big and you got it in your hand and just all that?
Then that means that it's a problem, but you can easily deal with it.
Okay.
You can easily deal with it.
What if you couldn't see it, couldn't hear it, couldn't do anything with it?
And then you don't have any problems.
You have no problems. So
Or you know exactly what to do to avoid them problems and not even go next to a problem.
right. So if you just don't even acknowledge there is a storm,
Exactly.
you are a problem solver.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Like, some people just don't see negative. They just see
He-
everything as positive.
When he first did this to me, right? Well, obviously he's just doing it to me now,
Yeah.
right? But I thought Darren Brown was in the room. It's scary. This exercise is scary.
Let's give it a rating out of 1 to 10. How accurate would you say this was?
I don't agree with the horse thing,
Yeah.
but I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay. So we don't like.
Inaccuracy.
Yeah.
And in terms of being scared, I'm 10 out of 10. It's a scary exercise. Right?
Yeah. As in, it's not just me knowing him. It's just me asking him these questions And then the answers that he gives are completely correct because I know him, and all the answers he gives.
Apart from the horse.
Apart from the horse, yeah, they're completely correct.
Right.
You know, like he got different sets of friends and his life and growing, everything's correct. So if you're playing along with this at home, just type in Google, I'm sure you'll find it.
The cube.
Code reading techniques.
Code reading techniques. Okay, so it's not just a cube.
Yeah.
Alright, so back to business. What kind of hints and techniques could you sort of prescribe to someone? Let's say who has got dreams but hasn't got the foggiest idea where to start. So like, you know, I had an idea of your brother a little while ago where I would carry a journal with me. I've got the journal with me now. And all it's about is just writing mini tasks inside and ticking them off, and the psychological effect that has on your brain in terms of success. Well, what I would say is, you know, I mean that's what your brother gave me, but what would you suggest to the viewer who wants to start off? What sort of techniques and methods and philosophies could you tell them, do this now?
Yeah.
And then what would you say?
One thing I'd say is have a dream book.
A dream book.
A dream book. Did I tell you about the dream book?
You might have done.
Okay, well basically the
You go
dream
on.
book is a book that's got everything that you want in life.
So you can't say I want a unicorn.
Well, no, it has to be realistic,
Right,
you know.
okay.
But obviously there's emotional things and there's physical things like I said before. So there's, you know, good health, nice family, make everyone happy, all that kind of stuff. And then your physical side, you know, nice car, nice house, this is
Nice partner.
nice
Who's
partner,
not a big horse.
Who's not a big horse, a muscly horse. It's really important to have something that you wake up to every morning, you look at it and you're like, I need to get this. You know, people like to have like pictures of cars as the background in the phone, because every time they wake up in the morning, they be like,
I want that car. I need that
get
car.
this car. You know, they go, and then that's when you get the fire. Boom, you go out there and you're just going out there and you're smashing it. You know, there's other people who would like to have it on a wall, so whenever they wake up.
That's what I got. Have you seen my poster?
Yeah.
I've got a poster which it's the last thing I see before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I see when I wake
That's
up.
my brother's got as well, yeah.
And on that poster there are sections of completion. So you know there's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4.
Yeah.
And I've called it phase 2.
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess how long it took me to do one stage of phase 2? A year and a half.
Wow.
And it was only little bitchy things. It was just like, you know, get a job, wherever.
Yeah.
But there's like first gear on a car, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's the slowest,
Yeah.
but it's the hardest.
It's the hardest, yeah.
It's once you get going,
yeah.
things
Snowball
work.
effect. It's a snowball effect.
it's a snowball effect. And another mate of mine said, you know, at work, he goes, the first 100,000
Yeah.
you make will be the hardest.
Yeah. After that it's easy.
After that it's easy. So, you know, I'm not trying to put people off by saying, you know, these massive, you know, sort of goals that you need to do. But if you just start, have that dream book, or have that chart, dream chart, call it what you want, but it has to have with you an emotional connection.
Yeah, you need to have this. There needs to be something in there like, why are you doing this? There needs to be a reason of why you're doing this.
Okay.
You know, like you're doing it for your family.
So belief is good.
Yourself.
Belief is good, but justification is required. As
Exactly. There needs to be a reason of why.
Yeah.
You know, why do you want to have this many cars? Why?
Well. Okay.
There needs to be a reason. You need to justify it.
Okay.
You know, there needs to be a reason. And when you're doing your dream book, try to be as specific as you can. So, you know, if you want a car like, I don't know, the Ford Mustang from Gone in 60 Seconds, you just have to say it needs to be the Shelby 500 grey with black pinstripes on it. Specific, you know, leather seats, chrome steering wheel, all that kind of stuff.
I mean,
Specific.
it might sound a bit pedantic, you know,
Yeah.
people thinking, oh, you know, why do I need to do this? But if you can relate it to a
Yeah.
physical aspect, a physical emotion in your own understanding,
Yeah.
then it has more effect on you, doesn't
Exactly, yeah. It's you just attached to it then because that's you. You are part of that dream. That's you.
it? What are your plans for the future? I mean, obviously, motivation in life
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a goal of yours.
Yeah.
You've got specific goals. You've got specific methodologies. But I just want to know, what is Haseeb Khokhar? What do you want to do? I mean, how are you planning on getting there? I mean, you said your dream book.
Yeah.
But what sort of obstacles do you see in the future, and what sort of solution could you apply, or do you think about applying? What does the future hold for you?
Well, the future for me is obviously I want to be a project manager. That's my dream. That's only the first part of the dream. The second part of the dream is I need to and I have to give back to the community. You know, I love Manchester, I love Ashton, I love everything. So I need to get back,
Okay.
and I need to give back as well.
Yeah.
Because the people out there who don't have the same opportunity as I did.
Definitely.
Even though I had a really,
Even though
really
you
hard
had
year.
you didn't have much opportunity yourself. Let's not
Yeah,
forget.
I mean I really had a really tough.
And then on top of that, you want to be, I wouldn't say a beacon,
Yeah.
but at least a person, you know, someone who you could relate to, someone
Yeah.
who you could walk up to him right now and say, see, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
And you could be that guy. You could be like,
Yeah. So
you want to be that guy.
yeah, I wanna give back. You know, like people want the mentorship and stuff. I don't think there's enough. So I really want to go out there and really give back. You know, go into the schools and do motivational talks. You know, because kids nowadays they don't have. I don't think they are.
That fire.
Yeah.
That fire.
They're
you're
missing
talking
that
about.
fire. They're missing it. You know, like because I wish there was someone would have come in our school or our college or our uni would have said, you know, guys, you can do whatever you want to do. All you have to do is just believe in it and just do it. That person would miss it. You know?
That our teachers were like, you carry on going down this road, you're going to end up in.
Exactly.
That's
So it's-
motivation for you right there.
It's negative attitude.
You know what I mean?
You know?
So.
So someone needs to go back in there and fix up this place, and I'd love to be the person to do that.
So that's brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been this has been fun.
Yeah,
first of all,
definitely
it's
fun.
been fun, and it's a validation of what I wanted to achieve in my life. I wanted this show to happen, not just because of entertainment purposes. I hope it has entertained you, and it's not just for my own gratification.
Yeah.
But why, like you, I wanted to do something.
Yeah.
Not just for myself, but for other people. And this is just me doing a favor for a friend.
Yeah.
This is
And this is
me.
me just doing a favor for a friend.
It is. It's a human being helping another human being.
Exactly.
And you know, ladies and gentlemen, if you see this man, support him. What I'll do, all his links are underneath this video. So if you want to get in touch with him, I'll give you those links. I'll give you all the information you need. Get in touch with this man and see if you can build a partnership. And even if you can't build a partnership, you can tell them tools, you can tell them techniques, you can share your experiences. You've already shared tons of experience right now.
Yeah.
But there's so much more that you can get out of life with people who want you to enjoy your own life. I mean, what's he going to get out of helping you? Nothing. What are you going to get?
I'll just get, you know, satisfaction maybe that I helped somebody else.
Yeah, but I'm saying physically, I mean, does it make a difference?
I'm not even asking for anything. You know,
He's not,
you know.
right? So you've got nothing to lose, he's got nothing to lose. Let's help each other.
Exactly.
And yeah, that's brilliant. We're done for this day, but we hope to see you again soon. And basically, ladies and gentlemen, this show is for you. Okay, I didn't make it for, well, I kind of made it for me, but it's about the people out there, so the people like Haseeb who are struggling, who not necessarily struggling, but striving,
stories to tell.
striving at least. You know, they're going out there trying to make a life for themselves, and this could be you. I mean, I hope to see another person like Haseeb on here. But should you want to be on here, just let me know, and
Drop it down in the comments below. Let us know what you think.
we will sort something out. But see, we've covered life, we've covered motivation. We did a very intriguing exercise with some unfortunate results, but we also got to learn a lot about our experiences and what other people could also relate to. So can I just thank you for being here today.
No problem.
And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I mean, I know it's a kind of a long show, but if you don't get the full juice of life, then what's the point? You know, we don't just want to entertain, but we want to affect.
Exactly.
And we want it to affect in a positive way. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the first ever show of Yasir's Horizon Seekers, and we hope you will be seeking your horizons soon, and we shall see you soon. Have a nice day.